Can you disable them? Yeah. We got to talk about some of the issues here because I think as a group and people who are Al-Anon and Narcanon have a lot to say about some of the trafficking and drug issues. First of all, a lot of the issues we weren't even fully aware of how much was going on in some of the areas. You have to really know the area and terrain and really pay attention. One of the issues, of course, for some of us, we had to live in a safe house due to sex and drugs and trafficking. And I will tell you about the tar jar here in a moment about quit smoking and some other things because we are part of this campaign anyway. So since there is a lot going on, I will tell you this. There have been a number of stories, and you can find this online. You can research it for yourself about the time of year, and usually during this a different time of year, especially during school. Pay attention to trafficking and drug issues in your region. Pay attention to your neighbors. Find out what's going on, who's doing drugs, who's not, where do they get the drugs from, and finding out some basic questions, asking some simple questions. If they have to go to a meeting, it's good to go to a meeting. And I can tell you the smoking issue and the tar issue and the roofing issues and some of the other issues are just not simply going to go away. Whatever happened in the basement and what was happening, we need to know who was doing what. Because at the time when we were kids, we didn't know that these people were doing any drugs, much less paying attention to some of the concerns that the kids had. A lot of things were going on at that time, and there was a missing persons case. And listen, I would tell you guys this, they'll blow out their tires before those people will leave the house. I will tell you that for a fact. And it's not a trap. What it is we're trying to draw attention to something bigger. Kids don't always know how to communicate. And a lot of times kids don't communicate what's going on. They saw it was a dark time, and there was a lot of dark things going on, whether it was the music they were listening, Metallica, Quiet Riot, any of the music they were listening to may have a little bit to do with it. And I know because my dad was telling me about this, about the subliminal messages and some of the music they listen to. It influences a lot of the kids, and so does the rap industry. There's a lot of music out there that influences these kids into behaviors, including the raves and the club scene. So when they go to a dance or under 21 club nowadays, what is happening is they frisk and search now, so they're ahead of it. A lot of times there's kids that are bringing wine coolers and they're underage, and underage drinking and LCB and all those rules apply here. Listen, serving under 21, a big issue here. If you're going to serve kids, maybe at your own discretion, here's a word of caution. We've had several incidents where parents are in denial. They don't talk about it. They don't tell their family members, and they don't talk to other neighbors. And there's issues all over our community. And a little birdie told me so. So, otherwise, if you're having issues with your vehicle, if you're having issues, one of the things that happened to me not that long ago is a hit and run. Somebody swerved into my vehicle when my car was parked. So, again, I don't know all these things. This is how neighbors look out for neighbors. We've had hit and run incidents where a lot of people are driving without a license, which I know firsthand because I was a teenager one time and I was at college. And I know when things get scary at the dorm or something's going on, it's good to talk to somebody, especially if you don't have a license, because you'll get your license revoked for that reason. And I've learned this firsthand. Other issues that'll come up because they keep doing this and they won't tell us what's going on is a lot of times the kids are running away because they were assaulted to begin with. And that's how I ended up meeting some of these police officers at different locations, because we were running away and we were stuck without a phone and we were in 5 below weather at this point. And I will tell you, I had to relocate several times and in a safe house and at shelters. So I know firsthand if there's something going on, whether it's roofing or the tar jar or any issue when it comes to drugs and trafficking. We ended up at the Super 8. And we know that firsthand that there's some issues been going on in this region for a while. So anyone that is aware of the hotel industry or anything going on, contact your security desk. Contact somebody to say, I noticed something doesn't seem right or suspicious. If you see an adult with children and it looks like it's more than just a date or it looks way more, contact hotel security. This is happening in the hotels. Contact a security guard. If they don't do something, contact a police officer. If they don't do something, contact the state attorney general's office. It's that simple. A lot of times we've had money stolen out of our bank card and it ends up in a device fraud case. So a lot more can be done And obviously for identity theft purposes, having proper identification, making sure you have your ID on you, making sure that when you go down to the courthouse and you talk to these representatives, that this awareness isn't just me, it's regional. A lot of times the kids had to live in a safe house because of this very reason. We had to live in a safe house in Oil City, and I met a Clarion police officer over this matter years ago. This happened over 10 years ago. There was prostitution in the Bronx, and there's some other issues. So yeah, obviously there's a lot going on. When this stuff comes into our region, people need to talk, and this is how neighbors help neighbors. And really the block parent program needs to be back on track, because here's the thing: when your neighbors are talking to each other, it makes a huge difference. It makes your neighborhood safer. It makes going to school a lot safer and saner. We could be sane again. Thank you for listening. You need to all go to your representatives and go to town hall and get the block parent program back online. That'll help a lot. That way, all this responsibility doesn't have to rely on just law enforcement and neighbors alone. It's everybody. It's about everybody getting active and getting involved in your community, whether it be here in Butler or Zillionope or Evans City or in Cranberry Township, because the heroin epidemic is real. And it's over on East Liverpool and Youngstown, all throughout this region. So pay attention, heads up, please pay attention to alerts. Contact your local police department if you are concerned. Anonymous tip lines. This helps everybody. It's about looking out for your neighbors, looking out for each other. Thank you for listening.